we got caught doing graffiti in art class. In 8th grade, we used to literally bully our middle school art teacher, okay? And I swear to this day, like, I don't know if it's because it's the first time you're experiencing like real hormones and shit, but like the meanest human being that I was, like the most like the most troubled version of myself was in middle school. Like I just was out to mess up people's days for no valid reason, right? We had this art teacher, and I think it's tough when you're teaching middle schoolers because, like I said, it's already kind of a hostile crowd, and we just bullied her. We literally just bullied her for no reason other than she was a little goofy and odd, right? Like she was trying to be a professional artist, didn't work out, and then she told us just too much about her life, I guess, as middle schoolers, and we just took it as we just bullied her for no reason. And there was one day in there we had these oil pastels, and like I said, like I don't have a valid reason to this for this day. It's just a memory, but like we'll call them George and Mark for the sake of the story. Could be real people, could be movie script characters. Me, George, and Mark this particular day are just terrorizing this art teacher, and at one point we're literally smashing oil pastels into the carpet. Like that's just violence for no reason whatsoever. Like again, I don't know why we were doing it other than to make each other laugh. And she's freaking out. She had to run into the bathroom in the art room to clean something up. George, without saying anything to anyone, he just slides under the table, and you hear a Sharpie going up and down on the bottom of the table. And we're like, what does he do? What does he do? Well, he's hysterically laughing. Well, we're all just laughing because he's literally physically laying on the ground with a Sharpie, clearly writing something while she's off in the bathroom. He pops up right when she walks out. She tells us all to settle down, so we actually settling in, and for once, we're actually just working on what we're supposed to be in art class. George leans over to me, and I'm like, what did you write? Like, what did you write on the table? He's like, you see for yourself. I act like I drop my pencil, roll under the table, and I just take a quick peek up, and he writes our art teacher's name. Miss So and So sucks balls, like huge black Sharpie letter across the bottom of this 8 foot folding table. Okay, we're laughing our asses off. We tell all of our classmates, like we're all just middle school shit. We're all think it's hysterical. 6 months later, second half of the school year, when we have a different class in there, I think it was like home ec or something like that. But we're in there, and it's like the first or second class we have with this teacher, and she was also a mom of one of the students, so she was super chill, right? And she's like, "Hey guys, like let's I want to rearrange the classroom. I don't like how it's set up for it was set up for art class. Like I want it set up for home ec." So we're moving these tables, and I remember me and my buddy Mark go to pick up this table, and George puts both his hands on it real quick, like top of the table. He's like, "Stop!" And we had all forgot at this point, right? So we're like, "Stop!" And he's like, "Don't flip this table over." Because we were cleaning them. She was flipping them over. There's cobwebs and shit. So she's cleaning all these tables. And George had his head down. He's like, he had a raspy voice. Like, not this one. Not this one. And me and Mark are like, what? Oh shit. This is the table. So we all stop, all three of us. And it's so obvious when you're middle schoolers. Like, you think you're being slick and you're not. Our home ec teacher's like, guys, why are we all skipping this table? Like, let's clean this table. Let's flip it over, wipe it down. And we're like, well, there's something on this table we'll have to flip over, right? And the funniest part about it is we finally flip it over. She looks right at it, and it says, she reads it out loud. She's like, Miss So-and-so sucks balls. And George had super recognizable handwriting. Like everyone has that one kid in their class that has a very recognizable handwriting. And she's like, did you write this? He's like, it's possible I may have written that. Like, and we're all laughing our asses off. And she just goes, she's shaking her head. She's like, wipe the table down, scribble that out, and put it back over there. And she laughed at it, right? Because, like, everybody knew that art teacher at the time was kind of just an oddball and didn't really fit for middle school. And, truthfully, again, we didn't have any valid reason for being dicks, but, I'm not justifying that. But I do think there's just some teachers that, whether it's the age group, the subject, or just the fact that they're not cut out for teaching, like, just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're good at educating other people in that subject. And that was something that, I saw that it was very rare. I think teaching is a true calling because you don't get paid a lot to do it. But there were definitely a couple times where there were some people who was like, again, like they are very knowledgeable on a subject or they know a lot about something or it's their area of expertise, right? But that doesn't mean they're good at teaching somebody that. And I think, unfortunately for her, like she was a really good artist, like herself, but just because you're talented in art doesn't mean you're good at teaching somebody art. But yeah, that was our middle school art teacher. She was only there for I think 1 year, not even a full year actually. But comedy for me and my buddy just watching. I'll never forget George's face when that table got flipped over. He's oh shit, But like luckily like I said, the teacher that came in afterwards, super chill, and I'll just never forget. Miss So and So sucks balls and big old black Sharpie on the bottom of the table. It's just one of the most random, funniest things I'd ever seen. So, like I said, middle school, man, just a menace to society age. I don't know, and maybe it was just me and my buddies, but we were just so pissed off all the time. Like we were just start shit for no reason. Like I said, I don't know why, other than just maybe the age or the hormones or whatever. But I would say to anybody out there, if you're raising middle schoolers or you have middle school siblings, like if they're punks, like it's just the age they'll grow out of it. At least I think most of us did. So that's today's story. We'll be back with more soon. Talk to Tom.
Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more, see no more. I was riding around town thinking to myself, is it gonna get easier? I'll be up and away up the street and bake, but I can't even breathe no more. What's it to me? What can I see?